All right, let's take a look at the stats from the first half. Both teams under 40% shooting.
Yeah, they're really struggling. That's the one that stands out the most. And those turnovers, Georgetown normally pretty sound with the basketball, and Providence able to score off those turnovers.
And let's take a look at how the Stars are faring this evening.
We always expect Cotton to have a big game. They've really concentrated on not giving him too many opportunities. They need Starks to get going on the other side, though. I think that's important for Georgetown. Get something out of their press and get a little excitement in their game.
So Georgetown with the ball to start the second half. Smith Rivera playing with 3 fouls. They go to Lubick inside. Great play, and he banks it down.
A nice button hook by Lubick, and he acknowledged it right on time, on the money.
Georgetown trapping Cotton with 9 points in the first half. Georgetown switching it up on defense, playing zone and man-to-man. Now Cotton to Bats. Baseline across the lane, elevates and hits.
Nice job creating space. They cleared out for him, gave him room. He turned around in that threatening position. Good attack.
Kadeem Bats with 13 points to lead Providence. Iagba posting. Drop step baseline. Created some room. Fortune to Cotton. Cotton with Starks back. And Cotton candy.
Oh, pretty give in the open floor. Let him do the rest.
32-25.
I like
Smith
that.
Rivera.
I'm sorry. I like Harris coming over and trapping. That was a perfect trap position. Defensively, it's key to get some easy run-outs. The understanding, here's that lock low, the button hook. Pretty entry pass, just solid basketball out of the gate. Well designed, I'm sure they talked about in the locker room. And here is just being in the right spot, helping out and giving it. The open floor, what'd you call that?
Cotton candy.
You'll be buying a little of that when the circus comes to town.
That's right.
With your little guy.
Starks. No call on the play. Starks trying to get a foul. Cotton. Speed dribble to the bucket. Teardrop. Too strong. Smith Rivera.
Numbers.
Troy. Nice play.
Real solid. Fundamental.
4 points now for Starks. Averages 16.
It's interesting. Georgetown, look at the press a little bit, but without Bolton in there, they're not quite as good. He's long in the front of the press and sort of inhibits people, seeing people.
Bats kept it up high. Fortune deep. Finally.
You were saying that. You got to make some shots. They're getting the looks, and he's got him in the right spot.
First three-pointer of the game for Fortune. He has 5. Averages 6 on the season, but they want more from him. Pick and roll. Starks rolls high.
A nice show by Bats.
Lubick almost traveled. 15 to shoot.
Nice
Backdoor. And foul.
Good foul, though, don't you think? That's their basketball, but everybody helping out. Here's the double up, the extra pass, and nice control. Keep the pivot foot, the kick out by Bats. And Fortune, a little smile there. A nice look here. Just well designed, made that defense pay for the assistance.
Devontae Smith Rivera from Indianapolis, Indiana. Hopkins ready to come in. Iagba.
Now you consider yourself strong and tough. This kid is very similar, I think. Husky, tough.
You know what he reminds me of? Victor Page.
I think he's got a better game though, don't you?
No.
Than Victor? I think he's a better offensive player.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. He was with Allen Iverson.
He was a tough kid though. I agree with that. A little giveaway, just a little tardy.
I remember watching Allen Iverson when he finally landed at Georgetown. I had never seen anything like that.
I've never seen the speed on the floor. I told some NBA scouts that hadn't seen him, where do you see this kid? They were in total shock at his coverage and quick
inside, bats.
Cotton with a nice look. Cotton delivered the candy.
Smith Rivera, 37-28. Providence looking for their first conference win. Hopkins knocked away, recovered by Bats. Fortune tries to pick it up, taken away by Hopkins. He'll drive and lay it in easily.
Boy, that should have been sealed by Providence. But they are controlling time and tempo, though, aren't they?
Yes.
They're making Georgetown work on the D a little bit.
Harris, a nice look inside. Fortune, though, it's contested. Trowick almost got a hand on it.
Yeah, nice job on the inside D. But they really run their offense so well. They get that back cut. Inside Harris, maybe.
15:44 to play, second half. Friars up by 7. (37-30), Providence on top of Georgetown.
And Bob Driscoll talking to Reese Cooley, who's had some evening and morning. You mentioned at the top of the show what they've been through. A candle put on fire. They had just renovated a portion of the house, and Eddie was just saying, God bless her. He thinks she was actually praying for him and the team, and was upstairs and had to call 911. So this is incidental, this game, after they've been able to be healthy.
And we were talking to you about Allen Iverson. Let's take a look back.
This is unheard of. Steve Shear, amazing library of footage. His gait, and the big fella overseeing everything, and he just ran easily. Great talent, great high school quarterback.
I remember talking to Allen. I had interviewed Michael Vick. I called a Atlanta Falcons football game, and I said to Allen later when I saw him with the Sixers that next week, I said, Allen, Michael Vick thinks that he's as fast as you. And Allen said, Michael's fast, but he's not that fast.
That would be worth seeing, those two.
Mm-hmm. So Jabril Trowick Jr. from Philadelphia, and he is their glue guy, tough guy.
That he is. Solid defensively. Tacks off the bounce. Occasionally take that three, but a little more offensive-minded this year.
37-32. Georgetown back in the zone now.
The worse of the guy, this is a flash. He can make that. I'd rather him take that.
Here comes Smith Rivera.
Oh, it's slippery, 2 guys down.
Baseline Hopkins, and he'll bank it in. Georgetown now starting to muscle their way forward. 10 points for Hopkins.
And Hin was hurt. They both slid, he and Bats. A little double high now, turn and look opposite.
Cotton, they'll reverse it. DeRozier's. Cotton, quick release, fade away. Way short.
Pretty good coverage on the wing.
Georgetown turning it up now on the defensive end. And you can see that it's helping their offense. Starks feeds the post. Smith Rivera off the dribble. Out of bounds.
That's him, though. He is tough at that rim. Everybody hustling back, and this is, it is on ice, but it's so cold in the area, I can't imagine moisture being on the floor, but it took some fall.
Baseline, Hopkins pivots, blocked by DeRozier's. Lubick blocked by DeRozier's. Picked up Hinton, leaves it for Cotton. On the baseline, Fortune, and strokes it.
Well, Cotton does so much, provides a lift. Fortune in a better spot. And when he rings the bell, boy, does that open up things for others.
Fortune with 8 points. He's hit 2 threes. 40-34 Providence.
He's zone up in the back.
Trout. Fortune tracks it down in the corner. Cotton. Fortune again. Heat check. Pure.
Yeah, how about Cotton? He knows how to ride him. Hey, Providence with some real good fortune.
Our score, 43-34. Providence looking for their first win in conference play. And right now, Josh Fortune starting to find his stroke.
And Bryce Scott, we talked about in the book, the all-around game. He finds the hot shooter. Fortune, 18 starts last year. Normally a very confident shooter, getting organized, beautiful stroke, and what a lift it gives the Friars. Been struggling on the offensive end.
So Fortune 1 for 6 from the field in the first half, 3 for 4 here in the second half. All 3 of his makes, 3-pointers. Here comes Starks. Still looking for him to get going offensively.
Isn't it interesting that they really need both of them to light it up? Not as prolific up front as Georgetown was in the past.
Hopkins, great catch inside. Blocked by DeRozan.
How about him? Great reaction by the big guy.
He's got about 4 blocks in this game. Came in with 38. No look past Bats. And he'll bank it in.
How about Cotton again? Number 7. Whew.
17 points for Bats. 45-34 Friars.
What about Starks not looking for himself? Cotton doesn't have to work as hard on the defensive end.
Georgetown has defeated Providence 8 straight times and an offensive foul.
How about that read?
Bowen charging.
How about Bats doing a terrific Rocher in the right spot, and you mentioned his ability. Terrific reaction. And just a terrific feed here. The look away, and Bats get the puppies rip the rim, able to finish.
So Cotton, who's their leading scorer, more of a distributor in this game so far, trying to keep his big fella's hands full.
He is a talented kid. Just loves to win, loves to play the game.
8-0 Providence run. The Friars taking their largest lead of the game.
They better get it done at this end.
DeRozan gets his own rebound and sticks it in.
A little closer. Tough in that zone. They're giving him that shot, so there was a little cushion. Couldn't really stick the guy on a checkout.
4 points for Carson DeRozan, the Wake Forest transfer.
Well, you don't want to foul out that far. The guy was not going to look for that shot. Fortune did a good job early. We got the steps. Yep.
And a travel. 10 turnovers for Georgetown. Hoyas unraveling here, down 47-34. Players, so many over the years with Georgetown, but this man, Odella Harrington, one of my favorite people in basketball. 3rd year as the director of basketball operations. He was Georgetown's all-time leader in offensive rebounds, drafted by the Houston Rockets in '96. Played with Vancouver, the Knicks, Chicago, Bobcats, 12 years in the NBA. He comes back to his alma mater.
He loves it. Great kid, wonderful with the players. Big John's very proud of him. And JT3, it's a valuable asset. And he can hang around. He's up to go out on the road with that job, you know? It helps. They got to get after him, I think. Extend the floor a little bit, be more aggressive. They've been lethargic, the Hoyas. There you go. Different.
Cotton. DeRozan hit his last shot. And he dragged his pivot foot and traveled. Remember, Joshua Smith not here because of academic issues that he's sorting out in D.C.
And he can do some damage underneath, no question. You got to be creative defensively. He carves out area, finishes at the rim. It's a blow. On the cut, I think Bats. Let me see.
Foul called on Bats, his second.
Team third.
Eddie's been through so much, not only with the team, but personally. Really got them ready to play today, though.
See if they can pay it off. Starks spinning, unbridled, and he travels.
You know, that's no question of work. I like him to start, like, try, get into it. He's too talented. And that's what that was all about, trying to put this team on his shoulder a little bit.
Cotton, so steady, though. In control, organizer, distributor.
He's everything. I mean, he's got to do it all.
Inside, nice catch, Bats, and a foul.
And once again, an assist getting to the free throw line by Cotton. Well, he has just found a way to carve Georgetown's defense.
Third foul on Trawick. Kadeem Bats, 17 points tonight. 5 of 6 at the line. Bats 6 of 9 from the field. He also has 3 rebounds.
70% free throw shooter, big guy. That's very good.
And he gets a second. 49-34. Providence. Foul, Bats. Aggressive play by Jabril Trawick.
Quickly, is that number 3?
That is number 3 on Bats. So now a sub will come into the game. Tyler Harris, the sophomore from Dix Hills, New York. And Bats will take a seat. He leaves with 19.
Nice attack off the bounce. He got steps again. Pretty good inside defense. Harris in the right spot.
Georgetown has turned it over 12 times. They average 13 turnovers a game. And we have 10:47 to play here in the second half.
They're really not running any traps. All straight up. Man-to-man full.
Cotton probing.
Using some clock and some continuity. Good coverage by Starks. They got a trap.
Grosers, the kick. Fortune wanted to get the jump shot free. He does this time and buries it.
And off the dribble. He's usually a catch and deliver.
14-0 run for Providence College. And they've taken a 51-34 lead over Georgetown.
Got the extra pass. Use some clock.
Smith Rivera.
He makes it look easy, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
He just knows space, how to release it. Starks really wants to get up into Cotton.
Harris. Uh-oh, Fortune again.
Everybody in the house had that one counted.
Starks, Smith Rivera ahead of the field to the basket, pinned on the glass.
They're going to get Cotton
by
before.
Hinton.
It was a great effort, though. I think they got Cotton underneath. They're really trying to get out of the way, but not giving up on the play. You mentioned Hinton looming large at the rim. If Cotton only knew, would have let him handle it.
With great players, Coach, you ever notice that they could be 10 for 10 or 0 for 10. They have the same expression on the field.
Yeah, and no conscience. I mean, that's very important, too.
What's the book on DSR?
He's got a great feel for the game, understands how to be tough at the rim, and this is an extraordinary backcourt, and it really hasn't exhibited this evening. But the range of Smith is extraordinary. He's got a pull-up game and banging at the 10.
Harris.
I got to get a book on you one of these nights, you know?
Short book. Cliff notes.
We could all be in trouble.
Hand-checking foul up top. And this will be called on Starks. That's his second. John Thompson, the third. Close practice today.
Very intense. I don't think he expected this. When his team would come out, I just thought they were on the rise as of Saturday. But you never know. Some funny things happen.
And a turnover. Bowen.
Not over yet.
Bowen has it poked away and stolen away by Harris. As he tracked backward. Now Cotton.
Smith did a good job on Fortune. He didn't leave alone.
Georgetown, this is the first of a 3-game road trip for the Hoyas. They'll play Butler and Xavier next couple of games. Fortune feeding the post. Lubick knocks it away and saves it from going out of play. Smith Rivera weaving his way into the front court. Nice handle on the ball. Spinning. Blocked from behind by Harris. 3-on-1. Harris. And he traveled.
That's why coaches want big guys to give it up. That's about the third time that Cotton should have been handed the ball by one of his teammates, but not giving up on the play. We saw hitting earlier. DeRocher in the right spot, and Harris stripping from the rear. And then the problems began. Put a string on it.
Smith Rivera to the bench now. Starks will bring it up the floor. Trowick, Hopkins, Bowen, and Ayagba on the court for Georgetown.
Bowen gets some excitement on the defensive end. So he ring the bell with the defense set.
Starks driving, right hand layup goes down.
How about that? Right? Stick that shoulder to the guy's numbers.
51-40. 6 points for Starks.
Yeah, that's one. He's been up there and in, tempting. But on the offensive end, you've been asking, where has he been? He's too good. You got that nice little clear out. Everybody's moved. Good deployment. And then the blow by. And then the big guy, you make him small when you go right at that chest.
7:37 to play, second half. Providence trying to hold on to a 51-40 lead.
Check it out, back to Gus and Bill.
All right, thank you very much. Providence has led by as many as 17 points right now with a 51-40 lead as we take a look at our game summary.
Well, you can hold Starks down, but that little move may get him going. Smith's been extraordinary, and Bats, very accomplished performance this evening, and also Cotton, finding people. But 11, Georgetown not out of this thing. You can't make any mistakes. Can't cough it up and give them opportunities if you're the Friars. Got a little 1-3-1 half court. JT3 changing it up a little bit. First time you see it, occasionally you don't react. Trouble!
Coach, what's the difference between the 2-3 zone as Bowen kicks it, almost picked it up?
Had to be a kick. They're coolly upset. I don't blame them. Thought it was a kick.
But what's the difference between the zones in terms of how you attack them?
The only thing, you can drive at the elbow, but you've got to have somebody that can make a corner jump shot on this. It's a very difficult thing because your normal shooter isn't going to get the look as quickly as he normally would like. So it's got to be quick ball movement. You've got to hit that right in here and distribute the basketball. Now look baseline, and you got an offensive rebound on the weak side against it. Don't be afraid to go opposite either.
You see John Beilein and the Michigan Wolverines run this 1-3.
It's confusing.
Won a whole lot.
He did it at West Virginia, if you remember.
Starks called for his fourth foul. He'll have to check out. Smith Rivera back in.
Just not his game, Gus.
Cotton. Baseline, Harris getting hit one. That one partially blocked. Smith Rivera the other way.
We've got to get back, don't foul.
Card splits the defense and draws contact.
Wow. That's a pretty obvious offensive screen there. Be careful.
Bats picks up his fourth. So now DeRozier's will get off the bench for Providence, and Bats checks out of the game.
The way DeRozier's played, I mean, he's been a valuable contributor, so he's going to do the job on the glass, shot block, intimidate.
They want more offense from him. They want DeRozier's to be their leading bench scorer. He's had some looks. He has 4 points.
Somewhere in his zone here, a little confusion.
Baseline, Bowen, and looks like he steps on the end line out of bounds.
Yeah, they can't get on track, can they? They're just not as smooth as you would anticipate a Georgetown team being.
14 turnovers for the Hoyas. 6:30 to play. Providence, once again, folks, looking for their first win in conference play of the season.
And it makes it tough. Look at Bowen's wingspan out here. You can't make that easy pass over the top. Turn and look.
Fortune, deep three. Air ball.
The 1-3-1 has done its magic.
Hinton gambling, no look pass, Ayagba, and he's fouled.
Give away. Not a bad ploy either. See if he can make some.
Second personal, 7 on the team.
So that'll allow Georgetown to shoot 1 and 1. Ayagba, actually he will shoot 2. He was in the process of shooting when fouled, and the timeout has been called by Providence.
30-second timeout.
It's a 30-second timeout.
Well, you talk about the 1-3-1. It can be confusing if you haven't seen it, you haven't worked on it, and you're going to be forced to make some jump shots.
Now tonight, don't miss Fox Sports Live as Jay and Dan bring you all the highlights from a full day of college basketball, the NBA, and the NHL. Fox Sports Live is tonight, 11 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1. And time for our New York Life Keep Good Going stats. Kadeem Batts, averaging 12 points, as 19 and 3 this evening.
He plays well. They're a different basketball team, no doubt about it. And 10 points against Villanova in that tough game. The Cats were drilling him. He's had 4 double-doubles this year.
Moses Ayagba. And he misses the front end of the 1 and 1. The officials initially signaled that he'd be shooting 2, but they changed it.
And the right call, I think, don't you? He was on 4. There, you give him a nice look with that penetration to the elbow.
Hinton can't hold on.
Nice steal.
Ooh. Cotton again, reloads.
DeRozier, I'll tell you, he's played well. That pass wasn't meant for him. The kick out to Cotton, who drills it.
Cotton with 14 points. They're starting to feel it here in Providence. To the basket, and a whistle and foul.
I love the way that kid attacks. Jabril goes to that rim strong. Good hustle. Step in here, sets the whole sequence up. And right there, I think that pass was meant for Harris, but turned out to benefit the Friars. Wow, form and execution. Pretty special.
Cotton with 14 points and 7 assists. Two shots for Jabril. Here's Bryce Cotton.
Important to make this one now for Georgetown. You want to set up your defense. They are all over fronting. They're not going to leave this guy alone. Bryce going to have to find something. Once again, the big hands by Lubick.
Trowick to Smith-Rivera. Nice. Back to Trowick inside. No call. Lubick picks it up. Smith-Rivera double clutch and rattles it home.
But he can hang. Quick timeout by JT3. Got a little life in him right now. a little more anxious on the defensive end. Anything loose, they're starting to get after him. Lubick with the big hands set up this whole sequence. And this is what I like about this kid. He's tough, he's strong, he can take a hit and finish and hang with the best of them. Pretty move. In or out. He's got some game.
Providence with 3 timeouts remaining. Georgetown with 2.
This is when you need that extra ball handler, too, if you're Providence. This is what puts a lot of pressure on Cotton.
They're missing Chris Dunn, the sophomore, who had surgery on his shoulder and is out for the season. That's why Cotton has had to move over the point position.
Of course, Brandon Austin, the kid they expected big things, and Rodney Bullock. Bullock will be in school, and Austin will not. And that shortens that bench. Trowick on Cotton, pretty good defender. They're going to force somebody else to bring it up.
Harris, he's shaky with the basketball. Gets it over the line to the basket.
Do you want to retract that?
I should. I do. His first basket of the game. Trowick. And a foul.
And Harris just couldn't recover on the baseline. The Harrises, Gus apologizes. A little spin at the 10. And why not? And you were right, though. They have made some mistakes not getting the ball to the guards, but nice finish. Very accomplished maneuver.
Harris picked up his 4th foul. So Jabril Trowick makes the first. Bowen comes in, and he replaces Starks.
Trying to save him with that foul situation, right? Before.
Come back in on offense, most likely. Second free throw good as well. 11-point lead for Providence. They've led by as many as 17.
And they got the 1-3-1 set up again. And they're tough on guards, too, because they can't see over the bigs.
Baseline jump shot hitting.
Well, that's his guy. Ed Cooley believes in Ladante, and why not? So many little things he does, and when he adds this dimension, and right here, the corner of these zones against the 1-3-1, if you can move the ball quick enough, you're going to get an open look. And Ladante right now stroking it big time at a crucial juncture in this game.
And take a look at the difference in the first half. Providence 1 for 9. We talked about the open looks that they were getting, but they just couldn't convert. Different story here in the second half.
Boy, it really sets things up, gets your defense organized. You're ready to play at the other end. I think now the key thing is handling full court pressure and making good decisions with the pass. Don't start using clock, but make them work a little on that defensive end. I think you can get good looks.
Providence, a 33% three-point shooting team. Where do you want to be in terms of that percentage from the line?
Well, a lot of guys are into the percentage of 7 or 8 difference between you and the opponent. So if you have 37, they have 30, you feel good. That was an old Patino thing at Kentucky. But listen, if you got guys in the 37, 38, 39, 40, you know, these are unhurried deep shooters. And most teams, you know, they don't have guys like that, or at best they have one. Now, by then, I'm just looking at my numbers. Bats is the highest percentage at 50, 5 for 10. This is not an official timeout. I think they were just checking something at the score table. Checking to see if anybody was not coping properly under the hoop. I like this right now. Cooley just countering with a little pressure. You don't want to foul, but just make them use a little bit of clock.
Smith Rivera.
There's that back door. Any spin dribble, they back cut the wing.
Stark splits the defense down the lane on the hop. Knocked away, picked up by Fortune.
Don't need it. Smart play.
Time on their side. The Providence Friars looking for their first conference win. Georgetown undefeated in the Big East to start the season. 2-0. Baseline hitting again.
Oh, they have found the home. And it's ball movement, and you just can't cover baseline. You got to run from the rim to the corner.
And you talked about that baseline area being the sweet spot.
It is, if you can move the ball properly.
(62-45). Providence. Hopkins gets his own rebound and lays it in. Timeout, Georgetown. 3:05 to go. Coach Cooley summoning his players to relax.
I'll tell you, he's gotten a lot out of this team. Utterly amazing. With all the difficulties coming home, you mentioned the travel problems of Villanova. More devastating than the travel problems was the extraordinary effort of the Cats. And now coming back here, having the problem at his house with the fire. I mean, just devastating. And these kids are responding. I mean, they collectively look like they've rallied around him.
Coach Cooley, 5 years at Fairfield. This is his third season. Last year they were 19-15. They finished 9-9 in Big East play, advanced to the NIT. But they were 7-2 in their last 9 conference games.
Had a great finish. Of course, he attributes a lot to Al Skinner, who did a great job at BC. One of those guys that, look at this, nice trap, look up the floor.
Cotton almost turned it over.
Got a chance.
Harris misses the layup.
Ooh, the angle he had is what cost him.
John Caprio has checked in for Georgetown, number 25. Lubick uses the rim as a shield and draws the foul.
Very late call.
2:45 to play, 62-47, BC.
Now this is the procedure they go through with the 3 officials coming out and having the dialogue.
You saw this over the weekend.
Yeah, we saw a long time at the end of the game the other day. See, to me, I think it's pretty simple. You know, you look at it, what do we got? And I think they're going to call flagrant just by the way Mike Stewart's coming over. Well, you got it. Flagrant one.
Flagrant one against
2
Trout.
shots on the ball for Providence. It wasn't a basketball play, and I think that's what they based it on.
We told you that Jabril Trowick is their tough guy on this team, so he tried to really put it on Kadeem Batts.
I think I'd pick somebody smaller if I were.
A little bit smaller. Batts at 6'9". He's had an excellent game, although he misses the first free throw. Prior to that, he was 7 of 8 from the line. He has 19 points and 3 rebounds.
Good play when you think of it. You got the ball.
Chance to burn the clock. So John Caprio comes back in.
A nice little screen set up. They run that curl for a number of people. Usually get it to Cotton.
2:16 and counting.
Yeah, you're going to run it. Let's see. Absolutely easy one shows. Time and score.
Hinton, who's hit a couple of big threes in this second half.
It really took the air out of Georgetown. You're right.
10 to shoot. Cotton, they spread the floor for it. Trying to shake up Caprio. Lost it on the way up and foul.
He was dancing. You mentioned earlier, put him on the line. Kid just 89 a clip. That's pretty good.
So Cotton will shoot free throws. This Providence team coming into this game, losers of 3 in a row to UMass. In overtime, double overtime to Seton Hall, and they were blown away by 30 against Villanova.
I think those losses take the air out of you too, don't you? You're down.
Those overtime losses.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen a stat like that. 44 minutes you average because of the overtime, as Cotton does. That's pretty impressive. Talk about earning your scholarship.
He's got to get his rest. From Tucson, Arizona.
He must love the weather here today.
And he'll get the second. 16 points for Bryce to go along with 7 assists. Starks the other way. 65-48 the score.
And by the way, Cotton's playing, his knee's not perfect either. You know that? Nice drive. A little more of that earlier.
Fortune also playing some of his best basketball of the season in this second half as Cotton is fouled again. And our Land Rover player of the game is Kadeem Batts.
He has just been terrific in that low box area. Turnaround jump shots, drive, fade away, you name it, competing against that front line. They are short people, but they weren't short attitude. Personified by the big fella.
So Cotton gets the second. Bryce Cotton right around his average. He has 17 now, and on the season, he averages 20. Leads the Big East in assists. Show why he was a preseason first-team selection.
Over 6 free throws a game he averages.
Harris fouling Smith Rivera.
Prior penalty from 25 Harris. His 5th personal foul. Team winner.
Take a look around the Big East. Villanova has defeated Seton Hall. They're 3-0 in conference play. We'll see Villanova Saturday against St. John's. Johnny's looking for their first conference win as well.
Pretty impressive start by the Cats, isn't it? I think it's a big game for St. John's, don't you?
Huge game for Steve Lavin and the Red Storm.
I mean, just mentally to get this thing going. Everybody expecting them to have a real good year. There's plenty of time left. I mean, what better way to do it than play a highly ranked team like Villanova.
Meanwhile, Tyler Harris is fouled out.
For the Warriors, number 25, John Capriel.
Smith Rivera, 18 points. There's Tyler Harris. Did a nice job in the second half of bringing the ball over the midcourt line when Georgetown pressed. Got to the basket, made a very, very spectacular hoop.
He sure did. Not a great game by his standards, though. They're given a foul, extended the game as much as they can, get Starks back in. That's the pressure outlet all game long against the aggressive D.
Batts trying to add to his totals. He has 20 points, averages 12 per game. 8 of 10 at the free throw line.
You know, Gus, I didn't see that Georgetown spark tonight.
No, you didn't see it. You're right. He looked a little flat from the very beginning.
And maybe part of it, you know, the upset of Josh Smith not being here. I don't mean his ability, but just all of a sudden it throws you off in your preparation, your mental input.
Starks. And Fortune with a rebound.
Trowick got hit again. Boy, he's been banged around pretty good. And John's calling him off.
So a win here for Ed Cooley. Will do a lot to get Coach Cooley going after a very tough week when his teams lost 3 in a row. They got beat by 30, Villanova. Comes back home, his house catches on fire.
I mean, it's such tragedy. And he was laughing about it today. I mean, just what else can happen? Oh. You know, years ago, I was out scouting, and my wife said, sit down, I got to tell you something. We had a fire in the house. I said, what are you talking about? Joni attempted to cook, which is unusual, and she called the fire department to say how to put out the fire in the stove. And they showed up with the hook and ladder to our house. We have a little stove fire. So I said, did you tell them what you were cooking? She said, it was a corn casserole. We really ate well in those days. But there will be no corn casseroles in Ed Cooley's house with this win. A lot of joy, a lot of frustration getting into this game. Terrific win for them, and not your typical Georgetown game.
So the Providence Friars will snap the 8-game losing streak to the Hoyas, their first win over Georgetown since 2005. But more importantly, they snap a 3-game skid this season and win their first conference game. The final score, 70-52. Great game by Bryce Cotton and Kadeem Batts to lead the way for Coach Cooley. Now he'll go deal with the house situation.